Welcome back to Angling 360 and welcome back to one of our favourite waters, which ironically
We've not been here for ages.
it's only our second time this year. So this isn't a catch-22 as it's fresh water, and we are now picking up our pursuit of a
We've not named it. This vlog doesn't have a name.
perch,
It's just called Perch.
Perch.
Just called Perch. Big Perch.
the biggest fish of all,
The biggest.
which I've got the biggest one, haven't I? Which is it £5.4?
Don't care.
Doesn't count, doesn't it, no? Because it was in Holland. Throw a picture up. There's what the original one, Alex, look.
It's a bit blustery. It's a bit blowy.
So we are going to take a sib out, but I trust Alex with the weather forecast. So he told me today was fine, took a day off work.
We're fine. We're good. As long as we stay close to the shore, we'll be alright. Going to end up worse.
Fucking disaster right now, era.
So first time out with the sib this year. First time out for perch this year, although we did pick up a perch earlier on, didn't we?
We did, we were out in another water with Jamie, weren't we? And we got a few,
Oh, I forgot about that one.
got a few
Aye, I
perch.
forgot
We
about
struggled, but we got some. Winter perch fishing up Scotland's hard, isn't it? Tough going. We don't do enough of it, to be fair, but looking forward to getting this late spring. We're in summer now.
that. Mid-June. Mid-June. There'll be
That's summer.
perch everywhere. That's summer. Perch everywhere out there.
That's
So let's go and get them.
There the jinx laid down. Right, we'll be getting this boat and
Go and catch some fish. Hopefully. Hope it floats still. Right, we are afloat for now. We've come to a mark that we know there's fish. Well, we hope there's fish, but we've had them here before. And the go-to method today, well, was it ever going to be anything else? Drop shot lobworm, and we're sitting in about 30 feet of water. Just looks like bubbles to me. That's just bubbles coming up. But we did mark fish, so there should be fish in this area. Let's get this down. We'll find out.
well, it's the boat rust, if you will. I suffered greatly from it. Just it's weird being back out on a boat, getting your sea legs again, or you're getting used to kind of walking down the boat and positioning things. And we got the boat seating the wrong way around for what we normally do. The engine started at first pull, which is a rare thing for Alex, to pull that engine first time and get it started. But we have had perch. I say we're just kind of out our kind of rhythm there now, just trying to find our feet again on the boat, as I say. So we have had perch. I think we've had about 9 or 10 perch between us. I've got them most. All on the lobs. We have switched to some soft plastics, which I'm fishing just now, but we are struggling. We've moved about 5 or 6 times trying to find some fish. We found a shoal there and had a few, as I say, and gone. So we'll probably be moving again. I'm fishing the same as Alex showed you, the usual drop shot, with soft plastic there. See how we go. I think this is going to be easy. We shall do our best. Right, we'll get this anchor up again.
Well, we're still getting them, but they ain't very big. That's about the stamp of the fish for today. Hey, there's a perch. I wanted that.
Beginning to give up hope, but this is perch of the day. Ain't no monster. On a day like today, it's more than welcome. Gracefully done. Aye. I'll do this bit. Excuse me. A couple of years ago we decided we wanted to get a sib to try new marks. Local waters, sea lochs, bays, just trying new things. Out in a boat gets you further afield. Open water. Look where we've ended up. Some of you might recognise it. The only thing missing is a couple of feeder rods and a bucket of ground bait. And we'll be right at home. Maybe be catching some decent fish, but aye. Get a boat, they said. It'd be fun. It's been bloody tough. The wind has limited us, to be fair. It really has kind of limited us to literally this area. It's been difficult. We're going to try round the island, see if we get a wee bit more protection. So aye, we do have our eyes on some pike lures and some pike later. So maybe that'll throw up a fish. Are you sure this ferry's not going to this? Going to this pontoon? Seems to be making a V-line for us, look.
Whoa, wind. That's pretty much the story of today. Just wind. Horrible easterly winds. But stronger than I expected as well. And it's kind of limited what we can do today. We tried to kind of venture a little bit further away. But nah, it was too risky, so we turned back. So yeah, perch fishing 2025, not off to the flyer that we were expecting to do. We were expecting just to turn up and catch an absolute ton of fish. So yeah, tough start to this one. And another tough not necessarily start, because the start was great. Chasing silver is going to ground to a bit of a halt as well. We have been out, if you're wondering where the videos are, there aren't any, because we've not really got anything. But seeing as we've got absolutely nothing to show you today, while we sit out in this hurricane, have a wee look back at what we did manage to scrape together on the last 3 sea trout outings. Don't expect any fish, however. I think Gordon might have got one. So he tells me, I don't remember. If you watched our last video, fly fishing on the river, I do apologise for my massive huff near the end of that video. You know what? No, I don't apologise for it. It was rubbish. It was absolutely rubbish. However,
It was fucking hilarious.
however, we're back out with the fly gear. However, this I am more at home with. 7-weight rods, 8-weight rods, sea trout flies, and none of your running water rubbish. We're down on the estuary and we're after sea trout. So welcome back to Chasing Silver. Chasing Silver, we've surprisingly achieved our goal quite early on. Mid-April, we had that £5 plus fish in the net. So where to next? Well, the clue's in these. We're going to try and get any fish on the fly. A £5 on the fly would be fantastic. But let's not get too carried away. So yeah, a couple of sessions on the fly. The Bombarder gear is in the car. So if a hissy fit does occur, we do have a plan B. But no, let's see how this goes. Believe it or not, I'm looking forward to it. Although I did say that on the last video. And we all know how that went. This is nuts. This is the lowest tide I've ever remember seeing. I think on the gauge it's minus 0.13 or something like that, which is like ridiculous. But what it's allowed us to do is to come to areas that you'd never ever get to on a sort of standard low tide. Gordon's a wee bit Gordon's a wee bit nervous when it comes to wading in unfamiliar territory. And I sort of waded out into the opposite end of the hole that we normally fish into. Look back and he's still sitting up at knee depth, shitting himself. I was like, you know, coming out. No. Look at the size of him. Anyway, I'm going to try and drag him back out to where I was fishing because it looks good. We've just stopped for a bite to eat there and seen a nice fish turn on the surface. So what I'm hoping is that once that tide starts to turn, which it should be doing, well, now, this bay is going to fill up. And I hope the fish come in with it, because we've not caught anything. We've not even had a sniff. Gordon said he's seen one fish earlier. We've just seen that one there. I'm confident, and I'm going to stick with the fly. We'll fish this tide into the bay, walk round, miss the deep hole. That's one thing we cannot get across to where we would normally fish. We need to come in and round. But it's brilliant. Big low tides like this, it just unearths or uncovers stuff that's never seen. It's like the surface of the moon. Right, let's see if we can get this big shite bag out into the water. Well, we managed to get him in the water. He's like, so how do we get out of here? If we need to, how do we get out of here? The same way as we get in. But the bay, it's filling up nicely. That tide's pushing in beautifully. However, that ripple, that lovely ripple we had earlier on, is completely gone. It's like a sheet of glass. But we have seen a couple of fish. So, you never know. It's just that run into dusk as well, so it's a good time of day. It's overcast. So the lack of ripple might not be the nail in the coffin that it often is. I'd like to see a few more fish moving, get the confidence levels up a little bit. It's a lovely evening, quite atmospheric, that kind of low-lying cloud that's kind of cool. Just need that ripple to come back though. We'll keep at it, work our way in, cover the ground. Should have brought the bombarder.
See, for about the last hour or two, I've been really confident, see now. Fucking hate fly fishing again. See, this fish really gets in my goat. But if you remember, when we done the wee mini trailer for this vlog, my goal, as well as a £5, was to get one on the bombarder mackerel strip, the lure and the fly. And I've done two of them. Last week after work I came down with Nathan, boy we know through social media, and we came down with the lure rods and I managed a nice fish, about 3.5 pound. Lovely fish, lovely fight from this very spot we're in. But the conditions when we turned up, we're thinking, oh aye, we're looking really good, but that wind just keeps dropping. And the flat calm, as we've known, or have known in the past, just kills the fishing, as well as every other excuse we can come up with. No windy enough, bright sunshine, wrong direction of wind, no wind. I don't know, see when your confidence goes, your fly fishing ability goes with it. Alex asked me there, do you want to go up and change? Like, no, we're sticking to the fly. Being stubborn tonight. I don't know, I'm looking at him now. It's like a sheet of glass, isn't it? We'll see. We'll keep at it, we'll keep plugging away. Ah.
Well, despite...
No, hold on, I'm speaking first here. This man has just said, I'm feeling surprisingly confident. We've not done it, a tug, a bite or anything. And he's still feeling confident. I don't know why. Look at the glass.
Well, before I was rudely interrupted. Despite optimism when we came down, there was a nice little ripple in the water when we came down. And it was looking quite good. Massive tide allowed us to get right out to areas that we've never fished before. There was a few fish showing, but just not much. But, as Gordon says, I still feel confident. I don't know why. 10 to 8. Maybe something about the time of night. Now, the fish have been a little bit off for most of the day because of the lack of wind. If they are going to... That was a fish. If they are... That was a fish. If they are going to switch on, it's going to be around about now. And I think that felt very fish-like. Yeah. However, I think Gordon's keen to go up the road, so... There may be a rock in front of me that I keep catching there, but that felt the same again. So unless a miracle happens in the next 10 minutes, as has been the case for every single one of our Chasing Silver videos, we'll take this one into the next session. Whether or not Gordon's got the fly rod out, I highly doubt Gordon will have the fly rod out next time. But depending on the conditions, I might stick it out. So wherever we are, we'll see then shortly.
I think Alex might be right. But what I'm going to start with, let's start with a nice happy note. And it's a thank you to Angus Cameron, who sent me this stunning fly rod. A Bruce and Walker 10-foot power light. He says, I want to see you catch a fish on the channel with that. So if you're watching, Angus, and I'm sure you will be with being fly fishing, thank you very much. Very, very kind of you, and I'm not too clued up, but Alex's reaction was quite complimentary. Very nice rod, and it's as light as anything. It's beautiful. I don't know if I'm saying the words to give it justice, but a very nice gesture, thank you. I shall try and get you a trout on this rod. But in these conditions I'm not so sure, if I'm being brutally honest. This is one of these nights where as we now call it, the Lombarder and mackerel strip, or herring strip, would have went down an absolute treat. But I only brought the fly setup. Alex brought all three, so he gave himself a decision to make. But now I know why he made it, because he probably looked at the wind before coming down. When I was in that shithole called work and forgot to look. So, cue the tantrums from me, cue a couple of nice sea trout from Alex, and no doubt Nathan will get one of the flies to rub it in. But I'm going to do my best. I'll do my best. That's all we can do.
Well, yet again, part 4, and we've had to split part 4 over 2 sessions, as we did do for part 1, part 2 and part 3. It was a wee bit tough on the last session, on the fly, but I've got a confession to make. At the end of last session, you've probably seen it about 3 seconds ago, I was saying about getting the fly rods back out on the follow-up session, which is this session, and how it might be difficult to convince Gordon to get the fly rod back out. Well, Gordon has the fly rod. I think he's going to regret it though. And because of the conditions, it's a bit on the blowy side, which is good for the sea trout. Difficult for casting a fly. It's me that's chickened out. I have opted for a lure. So I've got the lure rod. Nice old sandeel lure up there, Savage Gear. 19 gram sandeel. I've got smaller ones there, but I'm going to start with the big one. Purely, well, for 2 reasons. The first reason, it's a bit in the choppy side, it's a bit blowy, it's a bit blustery. And although, yeah, you can turn your back against the wind, like Nathan's doing just now, we're joined with Nathan from Nathan Trout Fishing, I think. Am I right? Nathan Trout Fishing? Yep, check him out on Instagram. He's had a few nice fish lately on the fly. But nah, I'm going to go for the lure. It's going to be a tough one for these boys in this wind, I would think. But hey, hats off to them for giving it a go. Braver than me. Anyway, the lure will win the day. Watch this. Looks good though. Looks good. Well, I'd love to say that this is the same session. It's not. Not much happened after you saw us about 30 seconds ago. So we just kind of went to huff, called it a day, went up the road. It's now 2 weeks later, so we're now into the third session of this sea trout video. Chasing silver, and we're chasing and we're chasing and we're chasing. Not catching much though. And it's a completely different day. It's still pretty blustery, it's still pretty windy. Gordon and Nathan, if you remember, of course you remembered it was literally 2 minutes ago, stuck it out with the fly rod on the last session. I think Gordon's seen sense this time around because it is still pretty windy, and he's opted for the lure rod, as have I. And we're hopefully going to just catch up from where we left off, fishless. The wind direction swung round a little bit. The water is not as dirty, now that's a key, it's not as dirty as it was when you last seen this. It really did start to colour up a bit. And I think it was at that point we just said, you know what, stuff it, let's go. It's bright, it's been bright for days, but there's a chop in the water. And we've got a good tide, a good evening tide. I think Nathan's already out there, at least we think that's him. Looks like he's left the fly rod at home as well. Aye, third time lucky hopefully.
I definitely are lures tonight. Now you saw the close up there, that's a solve pilling by Weston, 16 grams. Now this is my lucky gunky rod. One of the few fish I caught on this very rod was a £3.2 was it, perch? So it likes the bigger fish. So let's hope it can get us a nice sea trout tonight. Now the difference for today and 2 weeks ago is one can come home for dinner. And that's my goal. My boy loves a nice sea trout, Philip, as do I. So if we do happen to get a few, one of them will definitely be for the table. Although it's bright, I am confident. I've caught nice fish in these conditions before, and as Alex says, that chop's all important. We've got a bit of clarity in the wet stuff. Aye, confident.
There we go. Some promising signs straight away. We've been fishing for 10 minutes. Nathan's hooked and lost one. 30 seconds later I get smashed with one, but it didn't stick. So there's fish there and they're in the mood to chase some lures, so fingers crossed. I hope it gets better as the evening goes on. It might be bright, but that ripple in the water, that chop in the water is definitely helping. We need to end this video on a fish. I'm feeling the pressure here. 3 sessions, surely this time. But aye, confidence is skyrocketed. Sometimes that's the kiss of death. Kiss of death. Right, back to it.
Well, we gave it a good go. Lures, pish. We gave it a right good go in the fly rod, pish. So I never thought we'd be having to take an episode of Chasing Silver into a 4th session, but there, shit happens, doesn't it? But I think I might do what Alex has just said there. Break out the Lombarder and mackerel strip, try and save the day. Other than the fish that Nathan had on, by the time I'd get the phone out, he'd lost it. Otherwise, we could have had a fish in this video, Nathan. He chucked it about half an hour ago. But aye, that's fishing, isn't it? You win some, you lose some. But I'm no one for this. It's just good to be at part of either. So we'll give it another go tomorrow. Cannot believe I missed that bite. But that's the sea, excuse me, that's the sea trout. That's kind of fell off the radar. The perch aren't even on the radar. Aye, I'm not too sure what we can blame on the day, other than the wind. I've had bites on the soft plastics, lobworms, even threw some lures about for a while, but even when we were trying to scoot about, even trying to film some footage of the boat bouncing about, it wasn't possible. I was having to sit in the middle of the boat and stabilise the boat. Hopefully we can end the day with a fish. But listen to that wind. It's just slowly getting worse as the days go on. She's seen us try to get round that island there. Right, I'm giving this 20 minutes, half an hour max, and then we're off.
Thought perch fishing was supposed to be easy.
Aye, so folk would have you believe. Took me about 30-80 right enough to catch my first one. Well, we caught double figures anyway.
Got perch.
Nothing to write home about, but we caught perch and that sea trout in the lure. Kind of wraps up the...
I still don't remember that.
You weren't there, that's how.
That'll be why.
I was with Nathan.
Right.
Nathan's still blank since he's come out with us. So, this video is...
Rubbish.
No, it's no rubbish.
It's
It shows you
rubbish.
that... No, how would you put it? We're not sticking to our word that we're only going to show videos when we've caught and achieved a goal. No, this is fishing. Shit happens. You blank, you have poor days, you have good days, you have ups and downs. But we're always learning. Don't know if I learned much today, right enough.
I don't think we learned anything today.
Aye, we couldn't just... It was so restricting with the wind. Just for your, obviously safety and on it. That's
Aye, you want to push too far
This loch can turn on you.
downwind because you'll just knock it back.
And it did turn on us a wee bit.
It was alright. It was
It
was
He's got a nervous laugh. So, we are going to continue next week with the sea fishing in this popular vlog that's Catch 22.
Catch 22.
Seems to be doing quite well.
And that was kind of not the main part of today, but a big part of today was to get the boat out, get it dusted down, get it wet.
That's the first time the boat's been out since September last year, so that's a good 9 months.
Yeah.
It's been in the lock-up, so
So it all went well.
all went well, no
Let's-
disasters.
Let's get it on the salt.
So before the wind blows the tripod there and smashes the phone or something, we'll call it there. Unless you've got anything to add,
No, let's go home.
home time.